All right, guys, welcome back to the Tutor Learning Center. This is JD Tutor, and I'm here to teach you more Algebra 2, Lesson 1-3, Absolute Value Equations and Inequalities, Part 3, Page 3. All right, guys, let's look over here at the math terms. An absolute value inequality is an inequality involving the absolute value of a variable expression. So as we know through our inequalities, we had a greater than, less than. All right, and we had a greater than or equal to, or a less than or equal to. And when we had a greater than or less than, we had open circles. Oops, I'm not the best drawer, guys. All right, so say this is 0 on our timeline, our number line. So we had open circles, okay? Anytime we had greater than or less than or equal to underneath it, we had a closed sign. So remember that from algebra. This was filled in, guys, this circle. Not the best circle, but it was filled in. All right, guys, let's move on. I'm going to let you guys read these formulas here. I'm just going to skip to the problems. All right, so this is the same problem. These are the same problems that we've had, except instead of the equal sign, we have the inequality sign. All right. So let's do, I'm going to do this problem with you on the side here, and it's going to be the same, exactly the same as the equal sign, guys, except we replaced it with the inequality sign. All right, so 2x, the absolute value of 2x plus 3 plus 1 is greater than 6. All right, get rid of that 1 from both sides. And cancel and cancel. And then 2x, I'm going to bring this out of the brackets. Actually, they have it in the brackets, so I guess I'll leave it in the brackets. So, and then is greater than 5. Okay, 6 minus 1 is 5. And then they brought it out of the brackets as two different deals. Okay. And we're going to bring it out as 2x minus 3, I mean plus 3, excuse me, is greater than 5. But guys, on this next one, let me put the 5 there. On this next one, 2x plus 3. Remember, we got to change this 5 to -5, right? But I'm not going to put the sign the same way. When it's a negative here, the sign is flipped this way, okay? Okay, so 2x plus 3 is less than -5. All right. Now let's solve. Okay. So we can say, take away that -3 from both sides. -3. And I'm just going to do it to both sides since I'm there. All right. And cancel, 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 cancel. 2x is greater than 2. Okay, and over here on this side, I'm kind of multitasking, guys. So 2x is less than -8. Divide by that 2. 2, 2, 2, and 2. All right, divide. So x equals 1 and cancel, and x equals -4. All right, guys. So let's see what we have here. Did we get 1 and -4? Yes, we did. 1 and -4. Now let's graph them, guys. So let's go back up. We see this is greater than or less than. So greater than or less than were open signs. So are these going to be open signs? Where am I? Yes, right here. Yes, these are going to be open signs. Now, how do we know which direction to point them, right? Let's get a good look at this. See this x, pretend this x is your 0. I'm not saying it is a 0. I'm saying pretend it is on the graph. See where your 0 is right here? Okay. All right. So it's going to be greater, right, than the 0, right? So your 0's on, your open sign is going to be here on the 1, on the greater side of this 0 here, okay? So let's start from the 1 and shade over here. See how this sign is pointing this way? See how this sign is pointing that way? That is a key indicator for me to point and shade that way. Let's look at this one. So x is less than -4. Pretend that x is your 0 here, okay? Your 0. All right, and it's less than. So x less than, so we're going this way. Okay, so also start at your -4 with the open sign and see how this is pointing this way. That is our key indicator to point that way and shade. So those are just some kind of tips and tricks that I've learned along the way that can help you remember it a little bit easier. So, all right, guys, so let's look at compound inequalities. It's where basically it is what we've been learning with the two solutions. We're going to combine them together and make it what they call easier. So we're going to combine it at the end of our centerpiece here. So let's take a look. All right, guys, let me erase this. So every time I use this eraser, I feel like it takes so long. I'm waiting for the Jeopardy theme song to come on over here. Do, 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 do. Okay. All right, enough. All right, so let's do this one, guys, and we're going to show you how to consolidate. Okay, it's the same exact methods. Okay, I'm going to show you some long ways. I'm going to show you both ways on how to do it. Then I'm going to show you the quick way on how to do it. All right, so I'm going to show you 2 ways and then the quick way. All right, so let's do example B. Here is the old way of how we're doing this. They don't have the old way on here, but I'm going to show you the old way. And then as I do the old way, you can make some comparisons on here, okay? Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. Let's go to the whiteboard. I have enough room on the whiteboard. So new share whiteboard. All right, guys. All right, so I'm going to write the problem up here. Oops. Undo. Write the problem up here. 3x minus 1 plus 5 and Okay. All right. So absolute value 3x minus 1 plus 5 is less than 7. All right. So we already automatically know if we're going to make a timeline, guys, we automatically know that that is going to be an open circle, don't we? Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. So let's get to our centerpiece. We can take away that 5. Cancel, cancel. Okay. And the absolute value 3x minus 1 is less than 2. All right, now we have our centerpiece, guys. We have our centerpiece. So we know that we have to get a minus 2 here. So let's build another centerpiece. I mean, let's build off of that, guys. Sorry. Trying to concentrate and talk and write at the same time here. A little bit more difficult than you think. Chewing bubble gum and walking at the same time. All right, so let's do 3x minus 1 and is less than 2, and then we're going to do 3x minus 1. Now remember, guys, you have to flip the sign. You have to flip the sign because this is going to be the negative 2, right? So flip that sign. All right, now let's take these out of the brackets. Okay, and do your plus 1 here, your plus 1 there. Cancel, cancel. All right, 3x and 2 plus 1 is 3. So 3x is less than 3. All right, over here, we're going to take it out of the brackets, and 3x minus 1 is greater than negative 2, and do the same, add your 1s. Cancel, cancel. 3x equals negative 1. All right, guys, now we have to divide to get our x by itself. And hey, guys, I'm getting kind of used to this whiteboard. All right. My handwriting is not so ugly anymore. X is less than 1. Cancel, cancel. I said not so as much ugly. Okay. And also, oops, instead of putting that equal sign, I should have put that greater than sign. Okay. So x is greater than negative 1/3. All right, guys. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to move my picture over there. All right. So let's take a look at what is going on with our compound inequality. All right, guys. So our compound inequality, oops, I spoke too soon on the drawing. All right, let me draw the same thing for you, and then you can make some similar inferences to this side. Okay, same problem here. All right, guys. So what we'll do is we will still do the same thing. Plus 5. I'm sorry, minus 5. Minus 5. All right. Oops. Cancel. Cancel. All right. So 3x minus 1 is less than 2. All right. All right, guys. So let's do this a different way. Let's do it with because we have to change this also to a negative 2. All right. So let's write it this way. -2, all right, is less than, because use the same sign that you do over here as you do to start your problem. So use the, I actually am showing you the quick way as well. So use your 2 and change it over to that -2, like we would have done here, okay? And then put your 3x minus 1 here, right? And then still use your same sign the same exact way and put your 2 here. So short version, guys, is you're taking this number, you're doing just like you do over here, except you're doing it over here and over here. Okay, and you're taking your 3x minus 1 and putting it over here, right? And keeping your signs the same way, keeping your signs the same way as this. Okay, all right. Try to get some of this cleared off here. Okay, so does everybody understand how to do that? All right, so now we're going to solve the problem. We're going to, oops, what am I doing? So we're going to take this 1 right here, and we're going to, so we're going to add it all the way across to everywhere except for the 3x. Okay, so cancel, cancel, and then we're going to have -1 is less than 3x. All right, and is less than 3. All right, now where do we go from here? We have to take this 3 and get it off the x to get the x by itself. So we're going to do the same thing to here except divide. All right, and this is going to cancel. These are going to cancel. So we're going to have -1/3 is less than x is less than 1. All right, so after everything is said and done there, guys, there you have it. Take a moment and let everything sink in, all right, that we just learned up till now. All right, guys, so pause the video if you have to. We're going to keep moving on. Okay, pause the video if you have to. All right. Let's see. Oops. Let's get out of that. New share, back to here. Still working, trying to figure out how to work this, guys. All right, so let's do example A. Let's do example A. All right, guys. So I'm going to work the first one for you both ways. And then I'm not going to work it both ways anymore. Okay, I'm going to show you the old way, and then I'm going to show you the new way. So the compound way. All right, so x absolute value x minus 2 is greater than 3. Now let's go over to new share whiteboard. All right. All right, guys, so we're doing A. All right, so x minus 2, the absolute value, okay, is greater than 3. All right, so I'm going to do it both ways for you. Okay, is greater than 3. All right, guys, so let's get rid of, let's take these out of parentheses. See, this is our centerpiece. Okay, we're at our centerpiece. So let's take these out of parentheses. X. Oh, that's supposed to be a negative, guys, remember. Create two of them, right? Let me put our centerpiece a little bit in a good, better position here. All right, guys, but we didn't flip this sign, did we? We have to flip that sign because that's a negative. Oops, come on. That's a negative, so we need to flip our sign. All right, x minus 2. Flip that sign there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now we need to plus the 2, plus the 2, plus the 2, plus the 2. Cancel, cancel. X is greater than 5. All right. And cancel, cancel. X is less than -1. All right, guys. So how do we sort this problem out from here? We can say and x is greater than 5 and x is less than -1. All right, guys. So let's do it the other way here. Oh, sorry. This side of the board was supposed to be for the other way, but it didn't work out like that. So, all right, hang on, guys. Working with this thing. All right. So let's do it the compound way. All right. So let's take out, this is already our centerpiece, guys, so we don't have to work anything from above. Okay, so let's take it and do our, bring this whole thing out of parentheses. There you go, but we have to do the -3 on the front. The signs need to face the same way as each other here and here. All right. All right. So let's plus this 2, but we have to plus it all the way across the equation. And cancel, and cancel. And this is going to be a -1 is greater than x is greater than 5. These have to be facing the same position. All right, guys. All right, so now let's graph though. And you know what? I didn't graph on the example part when I should have. But so say this is your 0. All right, so let's look at this. We're looking at this is going into the negative, so -1 and then a +5. 1 2 3 4 5. All right, and guys, we know this does not have a line under it, an equal sign under it, so we know this is open. All right, now how do we shade? Now you can look at this and say, okay, this is pointing in this direction. So I'm gonna go from the 5, and shade this way from that circle. Okay, and now I'm gonna go from the 1 and I'm going to do it this way. So this way, I'm going to shade from the 1 all the way to the end of the arrow. Okay. Okay. All right. But now how can you tell over here? How can you tell over here? Well, because they're both facing the same direction. Well, let's look at this. X is still less. So remember what I said was pretend that X was your 0 and it's saying less. So less over here on your number line, right? Negative, right? So that's -1, and X is greater so than 5. So pretend X and your 5 is over here on this side. Okay, so that's how you can tell. But if you really wanted to get technical about this, you could take it in parts. I'm just trying to teach you several ways, guys, on how to do this. Flip this around, where see where this point is at the X, make sure the point is there as well, and then do the -1. See our sign, this comes out to be just like this. Okay, now let's try it with this. X is still greater than 5. So this is still like this, and it like that as well. So 5, so pretend X is your 0, and you're going to start at your 5 and go that way. For number 1, it points that way. And number 2, on this side, I always like to think of it as being the greater side, and this side, the lesser side, which it is, right? All right, guys. So take a moment, pause the video for letter A. All right, guys. So we're going to do letter B, but I'm not going to do it the old way, guys. So B. I'm going to do it the compound way. So absolute value of X plus 2 minus 3 is less than or equal to -1. All right, so let's get our centerpiece, guys. Let's work toward our centerpiece. So +3, +3, cancel, X plus 2, okay, and is less than or equal to 2. All right, guys. So now instead of doing a whole nother one here, right? Instead of doing a whole nother one just like this and doing the -2, right? And having 2 columns, we're just going to do a -2 over here, right? So our -2 and 2 are on both sides, or on both sides, and our X plus 2 is in the middle, right? But our sign, how do I know what to put here for our sign? You go over here and you look what way this sign is doing. It's doing that same way. All right, guys. Now, are we finished? No, we are not, because we have to get rid of this 2 to get the X by itself. And what you do to the middle, you do to every in each side. Okay. All right. So what you do to the middle, you do to each side. All right. So this is going to be a -4, and the signs are going to be the same way. The X is now by itself, and this is going to be 0. All right. So you're going to have -4 is less than or equal to X, which is less than or equal to 0. All right, guys. So let's graph. Let's graph. Here's your 0 in the middle. You're like, oh, I'm still stuck. I don't know. Well, if you don't know, break them apart like we did before and do the X first, but make sure that greater than that open part of the sign is open with the line underneath, and then your -4. Okay, break it apart here if you have to. All right, make sure that X is over here, and then see that pointy side to the X. Make sure that pointy side still goes to the X with the line under it, the equal sign, and do 0. Now we can do 0. So let's look at 0 first, since we're right here. All right, we're going starting at the 0, and we're going this way. But how far do we need to go to the -4? We only need to go to the -4. And remember, it is closed circle on both of them. So I'm starting from that 0, and I'm going to the left, because this is pointing to the left, right? And for X is greater or equal to -4, this is pointing to the right. So we're going to go from the 4 and point to the right. All right. So now we have our chart, our graph, okay, our number line. All right, guys. So now let's do letter C. All right, this time I'm going to show you just how to do and graph the number lines. So 5x minus 2, that's the absolute value, plus 1, and is greater or equal to 4. All right, guys, so let's work toward our centerpiece. Get rid of that. Get rid of that 1. Okay, -1 on both sides. 5x minus 2. And is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, guys, so remember, let's take everything out just like you normally would. Take everything out of there. And it's going to be add the same sign. And then we're going to do the -3 over here. It's just that easy, guys. It's just that easy. All right. They made it really easy for you. When I was in high school, I was like, I can't do this. It's too hard. I don't know what to do. But now once you study it and analyze it really well, it's easy. So we want to work and get this 5x by itself. How are we going to do that? Get rid of that 2. And what you do to the middle, you do to each side. +2. So it's all the way across, except for that 5x. So we're going to have a -1 is greater than or equal to 5x is greater than or equal to 5. All right, guys, now we have to get rid of this 5 and get the x by itself. So we're going to have to do it across all. What you do to the middle, you do to both sides. All right. And so now we have -1/5. Keep your signs. Is greater than or equal to x is greater than or equal to 1. All right, guys, write that down, and let's see how they did that for the the graphing. All right, so see, they did. All right, we know that the line under the inequality is going to be a closed circle. Okay, so closed circle. And we had a 1/5, negative 1/5. So it looks like it's kind of there. Oops. Guys. Eek. All right. So it's kind of there. And then we had our 1, which was kind of here. All right. So let's look. We had X. And oh, let me rewrite it for you guys. It's on the other screen. We had negative 1/5 and greater than or equal to X and greater than or equal to 1. All right, guys, so let's see where this is pointed. So X with the pointy end toward the X. Okay, and then it's going to be negative 1/5. All right, and then the X with the greater than or equal is to 1, right? So now we can better judge it. So let's see, we're looking at negative 1/5. So X is less than, so we're looking at X, pretend X is your 0. So we're on the less than side, right? At the negative 1/5, and look at the way the arrow goes here. Goes here. Okay. And then X on the greater, right, is greater or equal to. So let's go to the greater side of the 0. Here's your 0. Let's go to the greater side, and that's on the 1. And look at the way the arrow's pointing here. We're going to do the same thing, point our arrow there and shade all of that in all the way up to our arrow. All right, guys, let's do D. All right. All right, guys, we have 2x plus 7 minus 4. Oh, that's the absolute value, minus 4, and is less than 1. Less than 1. So let's get rid of that 4. Cancel, cancel. All right, so we'll have absolute value of 2x plus 7 is less than 5. All right, so let's take all of this out. Take all of that out and put the same sign over here with the negative 5. Just that simple, guys, just that simple. But are we done? Are we done? No, we have to get rid of that 7. And what you do to the middle, you do to both sides. So that's going to be a negative 12 is less than 2x is less than negative 2. All right, guys. So are we done yet? No, we're not. The middle part, again, we need to get this x by itself. So what you do to the middle, you do to each side. So 2 straight across. All right. So 2 into negative 12 is negative 6 is less than, keep your sign, less than x, because these cancel out, is less than negative 1. All right, guys, now we know this is going to be an open circle on our graph. So let's take a look at this. Back over here. Oh, oops. All right. So back over there on letter D, we had negative 6 is less than x is less than negative 1. Let's make it easier to put it on the number line. So let's break this in parts. So x, see the greater than sign is that way toward the x, and then the minus 6. Okay, and let's break it in parts here. Okay, x and the pointy end is toward the x minus the 1, right? And let's see if this holds true. So open circle, open circle, open circle, open circle. This is on the negative 6, and this is on the negative 1. All right. All right, guys. So let's do, this is going to be our 0 here. All right, so the greater side and the lesser side is not going to work on this particular one, but one of the tips I gave you. But let's see, look at the arrows. So we're looking at the arrow going this way. And so the arrow is going this way. The 6 is going all the way to our 1. Okay. And the arrow is going this way. So this way. And the 1 is going all the way to our 6. All right, guys. And that is going to be it for part 3. All right, guys, I'll see you on part 4. Thank you.